Hi, I'm Fabrizio Sotti. I'm here with American Musical Supply. So I think that this positive grid head was quite a surprise for me because I'm used to play traditional amplifiers, tubes or solid states. I played the bands in the past 30 years. And my main concern by using this type of model amp was always like the response, the feel, but especially the response, because the tone quality, I didn't have any doubts that I was going to get a great tone out of it, but I was concerned about the feel, the note, if the attack was the same, if there was no delay, or some kind of, random feel. And I have to say that, the tone is incredible, so even when I play an archtop, it feels really natural. And in my case, I only use basically one sound because my setup is my board, with my pedals, and then I just need a clean head with a lot of headroom and a very super clean sound. And in this case, I use just the clean solid state mode of the head. But then on the other end, when I'm not playing my own gigs and for my own groups, I can use this head in the studio to do sessions, and use basically have any sounds I want. I can play from jazz to country to rock and roll, heavy metal, really anything. I think the versatility of the head, it's something that I've never experienced before in my life. So the package of this head, I think, is also brilliant because first of all, it's really light, so it's very easy to carry around, and the fact that you can also remotely dial in your own sounds, via Bluetooth, via software, so you can virtually also don't have this head with you, and you have it at the gig, and you can dial in your own sound as the precise sound you had at home or your studio in your own country if you're touring. I think that's really, in my case, I never heard about something like this before. Again, I found one sound, my ideal sound, with the solid state mode. However, I did try to play around the other modes, and I actually got a great tone out of it. I recently did a song with Dead Prez, Snoop Dogg, Gary Clark Jr. and myself, and duetting with Gary, I used actually this head in the crunch mode, and it was quite an experience. My setting has always been a 4x10 cabinet, and either 2x12 or 1x12 cabinet used in stereo. And in this case, I'm using an electro voice, which takes really a very powerful amp to drive, and not every amp or head can do that. And this little thing is incredible because even on the electro voice, which is 200 watts, but I think it's one of the hardest speaker in the business to really move, and this head is 600 watts and it does an incredible job. So my initial approach to the amp was to basically just to look at what I had in front and set everything in the middle, and see what I can get out of it. Going through first the clean sound, and then go to the glassy, all the different modes that you have there, and I think it's really intuitive. It also comes with an incredible software that you can I'll show you later. You can use for to do traditional guitar stuff, but also to do a lot of other stuff if you're a producer or you're like an engineer or a mastering guy or anything. Like I said before, my set is just to have a sound that is the cleanest possible, with a huge headroom, because again I get everything from the pedals. So my setting is clean in position 1 of the 5 settings you can get, and then we have all the knobs set at 5 in the EQ. The presence is totally to 0, and it's used in the vintage mode. And then depending on the room, how big the room is. Right now we're using it, with I always tend to have the master at the maximum, and then the output, I adjust that, depending on the room, because I really noticed that by having the master at the maximum, the attack and the response is completely different. So I prefer to use the master always at the maximum and use the output to regulate really the volume according to the room or the situation that I'm playing in. So I'm currently using the heads that you see here, which is the format that I prefer to have in my own studio, like where we are today, or also to go around town. If I had to do a session in another studio, this is like so light and portable that I think it's it's really convenient format. And for touring, I think I would use the rack version of it, just because you can put it in a rack and ship it. And this, I think, you will have to make a special case and it will get damaged. So I think it's brilliant the fact that they have the two versions, so you can bring one on the road and have it, in a regular flight case and don't worry about breaking it. And have this when you need to carry it around in an urban setting, in your car, or if you leave it in your studio or in your home. Check out Positive Grid at AmericanMusical.com.